So there's a huge difference between domestic abuse versus domestic abuse where coercive control is the underlying pattern. So domestic abuse can happen physically, psychologically, which encompasses mentally and emotionally. But when we're talking about when the domestic abuse has an underlying pattern of coercive control, we are in a whole different ballgame here. So somebody who is a perpetrator of domestic abuse, where there's a pattern, an underlying pattern of coercive control, the perpetrator is seeking to have power and control over their target. That is what is driving them. And so we'll see a lot of times that when a target cuts off the domestic abuse happening in one form, for example, physically, right? Well, it won't stop. It will just switch forms to psychologically, or litigation abuse, or even financial abuse. Because the underlying goal, if you will, of the perpetrator of the domestic abuse, when there is a root driver of coercive control, is to seek to have power and control over their target. They are seeking to dominate their target. They are seeking to entrap their target. And here's the problem. A lot of times, especially family law professionals will absolutely miss what is happening. Because again, they're thinking of just domestic abuse. Did he hit her? Was he psychologically abusive? And oftentimes they'll think if he's psychologically abusive, they'll be like, well, he's just a jerk, just get over it. So they'll be like, okay, well, if there was physical abuse or sexual abuse, we'll just call the cops because you can get a restraining order. And if he's psychologically abusive, just block his number and use a co-parenting app, which is really great. I mean, those are really great tools and I recommend all of them. But here's the problem. If the underlying driver is coercive and control, it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep switching forms and getting worse and worse and worse until a system or a person in power, because they don't respect the target. The coercive controller does not respect the target, okay? Until a person in authority within the system steps in and says, stop, whether verbally or through action like court orders, etc. But here's the thing, as the target, you need to help the family law professionals see the pattern and patterns of coercive control. Otherwise, they will probably miss it. But that's exactly why I do the work I do. So my name is Crystal Fideli, and I support women who are leaving coercive control to navigate family court. And really the family court system, because the family court system encompasses judges, yes, of course, but attorneys, and even your own attorney and other third-party court-appointed whatever professionals. So what I specifically help with is I help you make the pattern very visible in how you document and compile evidence. And I teach you how to communicate in coercive control dynamics. And we also got to create that financial transition plan, because I promise you, you can get from where you are to the other side. We just have to do it very strategically, and we have to build capacity. And if you would like my support, I want to invite you to go ahead, visit me at my website, crystalfideli.com. That link is in my bio. We'll see you soon.